evening, Miss Hattie. I hope we're not interrupting anything important.
Not at all. So good of you to drop in this evening. Mary Helen! What have you got there?
My history book. We have been studying the American Revolution. Didn't we Scribners have a relative who fought in that war?
Indeed we did. That was my great-grandfather, Nathanial Scribner.
Do you remember him, Aunt Hattie?
No, Mary Helen. He died before grandfather even came out here to the west. But his widow, Phoebe Kellogg Scribner, she came here to New Albany.
Did you know her, Aunt Hattie?
No, but Papa did. She told him stories about when great-grandfather was in the War for Independence. I remember one of them. He came home to our farm in Connecticut. He had a 24-hour pass from the Army. That meant that he had to get to the farm and back to the Army in that 24 hours. So that meant that the Army was very close by. I suppose that meant that the fighting was close by also. Anyway, the children were very, very happy to have him home. They were so glad to see their papa, and everybody wanted to sit on his lap and have time with him. But great-grandmother had noticed that his socks were worn out. And so she told her eldest, James, to go out and shear enough wool for a new pair of socks. James brought the wool in, and great-grandmother Phoebe carded it and spun it and knitted the socks, and great-grandfather Nathaniel wore them when he went back to the Army.
He was wounded, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Well, and it was really bad?
Yes. It was at the Battle of Monmouth, New Jersey, and a bullet went in at the wrist and came out at the elbow.
Oh, that must have hurt.
I'm sure that it did.
I have been baking cookies all morning, and I simply must have some help eating them. Can you help?
Yes.
Thank you, Ed.
How long have you lived with Aunt Hattie?
Well, it seems like a very, very long time. Let's see, Miss Hattie was just a few years old when I came to live with the Scribners, and I was 15 myself. Gracious, that was over 50 years ago. Half a century. That seems like a very long time.
Speak for yourself, Adaline Von Molwitz. I don't feel a day over 49 1/2.
Miss Ad.
Now don't you be missing Ed me. I'm just plain old Ed.
But we have Aunt Hattie and Cousin Eddie, so shouldn't you be Miss Ad?
Shouldn't. It doesn't matter. Plain old Ed just suits me fine. Why, that Von in my name simply means I'm descended from nobility. Never you mind. Everybody here in the United States is equal.
Ad, do you need some help to get the greenhouse ready for the winter?
Oh, Miss Hattie, I've had that shoved up for 2 weeks. Another cookie?
I don't know what we'd do without her.
Aunt Hattie, can you please tell me the story of New Albany again, please?
One more time. Come over here. My great-grandfather, Joel Scribner, and his brothers Nathanial and Abner bought 8,000 acres of land here at the Falls of the Ohio in 1813. On the 2nd of March, the first tree was felled to begin building the house for us. On the 2nd of May, the families arrived here in the new town. We took up residence in a double-pen log home with a nice wide hallway in the middle. It was a very big house, but there were very many people living in it. The Scribners, they hired a surveyor, John Kennedy Graham, and he began to lay out the proper streets, town lots, and on that same year of 1813, the 2nd and 3rd days of November, the first lots were sold for this new town. They had been living in Connecticut for a long time, but they went back to their home state of New York to find a name for their community. The capital of New York is Albany, and so we have New Albany, Indiana.
And that was just the beginning.
That was the beginning. I tell you the story, and my father told me the story, and his father told him the story, and you have to make me a promise.
What it, Hattie?
You must tell the story and add your own part to it.
I promise, Aunt Hattie. We Scribners are great storytellers.